see that one. Okay, that one is recording. Then you're gonna record on this one. All right. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Red Ball coming to you live from the dungeon on the Be the Change podcast. We in week number 4. This week we was going to be talking about a little bit of athletic administration issues or whatnot, but instead, I think I'm gonna go into a segment about preparation, man, and the things that you need to do in order to prepare yourself to get to the next level of life, especially for you guys that are about to graduate. Those of you tuning in, listening. I do got a guest here with me today. I didn't think I was going to have one, but my man Ryan Rutledge decided to slide through and chop it up with your boy, man. So say what's up to the people, Ryan.
What's going on, everybody?
Not much, man. We just trying to get this information out there to these people, man. Hopefully these folks is listening to us and they paying attention to what we're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and break it up and first start out by saying that in my mind, man, preparation is key to being successful in the future. Whether it's a job, school, sports, or a business, preparation or how you prepare for whatever it is you plan on doing in life ultimately determines how successful you are in whichever endeavor you're choosing to do. The definition of preparation, for those of y'all that don't know, is the action or process of making ready or being made ready for use or consideration. I'm trying to get into today's show about preparation because I feel like we in this area, in Southwest Oklahoma area, man, we do a poor job of preparing our athletes, our students in general, for life after graduation. We tell them that college is the only way. If not college, a lot of people opt to go to the military, but there's many other options out here that you can take in order to improve your life after graduation. Trade school is one of them. Community college can be one of them if that's what you choose to do. The military can be one of them if that's what you choose to do. Too many times I see people fall victim to procrastination in high school and not actually taking the steps that they need to take in order to be successful in their, moving forward in their future. I myself have been a victim of these circumstances, procrastinating, waiting to the last minute. It wasn't until I met a family down in Texas, a couple in Texas that told me that I actually had a future playing ball and then actually make my own highlight tapes and send them out to random colleges to see if I can get a scholarship. This is 2 weeks left in open enrollment. So, you know what I mean? But I had somebody that told me I should have done that. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
I didn't really have a backup plan, man. I just put all my eggs in that one basket, and I see too many people that do the same thing. Man, you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a backup plan. Even if you don't go to school to play sports, if you don't get a scholarship offer, you got to have a backup plan. With that being said, whenever you get into high school, man, take advantage of these financial assistance plans that they got going around in these counselors' offices. Inquire, get the information that you need to know, get the information that you need. Do a little research yourself. Ryan, you being a coach, man, I know you deal with a lot of athletes yourself. And what is something that you would say to your athletes as far as preparation goes, man?
Well, with it all, Coach, the first thing that it starts out with is hard work.
Absolutely.
Hard work and perseverance, and you're going to put in the time. And I don't really remember the phrase, but from the first Rocky, Mickey makes the statement that you're gonna fight for 15 rounds, and you're gonna train for 15,000 minutes, or whatever it was. And that's the truth. If you want to be the best to do it, you have to train harder than the best that have ever done it.
Absolutely.
And our kids, I start with our grades. I think making your grades in middle school is really simple. It's do the work.
Do the work.
It's painful sometimes because it's monotonous and it's boring, but that's not the point. Do the work, get it done, and suffer through it, make the grades. And if you can start there and you get a move, you can pretty much, I think, push them. And like you said, there's so many avenues. And I saw it a lot last year at the high school level.
Yep.
Just you walk in and it's almost, there's no hope in the room. Like they think that I'm at the end of my life and I'm about to graduate from high school.
No ambition.
But you get talking to them. And then, like, when I left the room, they're smiling and they're thinking, like, what can I do? Because, I mean, like you said, you can go to a trade. You can start up your own business. You can go be a real estate agent. You can go pass your real estate license. Take you 2 or 3 months to get that done.
Yeah.
If you're really hard at it, you get it done in 2 weeks. But nobody really, like you said, it's hard when, parents are out there working.
Yeah.
And time seems to fly by. I've been around it my whole life. I've been around athletics.
Yeah.
And my daughter, we knew when she was younger that she was good enough to play at some level out of high school.
Collegiate level.
And but there were mistakes that I made as a father that I sent her to this camp instead of sending her to the actual school's camp.
Yeah.
And I saw that towards the end, and I learned that lesson. But camps, as an athlete, they're important.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find that a lot of parents and a lot of coaches, they let you, like y'all say, they like to look for that W.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Most any of my wrestlers that have ever been around me will tell you, one of my favorite moments is watching Evan get his face rubbed again. When we're in the wrestling room and we're working hard, and the big boys come in and they put it on him, because that happens very rarely in his age group. So when it does happen, I know it's good for him.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of parents that like to protect their kids from that. They don't want to see them hurt. They don't want to see them in pain. And
well, not only that, man, it's a lot of people turn a blind eye to the fact that it's their kid. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks their kid is that person, and sometimes your kid needs a little bit of work, man. There's nothing wrong with needing a little bit of work. Nothing wrong with getting a little bit of help and getting a little bit of training out here. It's all part of preparation. Understand that anything that you do in life, you're gonna have to prepare for it. Whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's a career, whether it's running your own business, whether it's playing sports. No matter what you do in life, you're gonna have to prepare for it. Nobody goes into any type of job or any type of activity knowing 100% of what they're doing. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
Fake it till you make it sometimes in this world, my friend. And I mean that. And when I say that, it doesn't mean go out there and just play around. But I became I ran a landscape company when I was 22 years old out in Phoenix, Arizona, and I didn't know anything about installing irrigation systems or anything. I knew how to dig a hole and plant a tree, but I went out there and I worked and I went and asked people questions and I learned, and I'm extremely efficient at it now. If I want to be, not my profession that I prefer and not something I do now, but a lot of trials and tribulations in it. But if you go out there and try things, and keep working and you work hard towards it, no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be athletics. It can be academics. It can be, like you said, like if you want to be a plumber, if you want to work on cars. I've always liked auto mechanics and painting body. Like I think that's a great one. I think they're few far in between anymore. You just don't see any of those kind of things out there. But if you go at it and you do it halfway, or you only go, you got class 5 days a week and you go 3 days, you're never going to accomplish it the way you could.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm a firm believer in that as well. Even though I'm a coach and I'm a trainer, I never thought that I would be a coach or a trainer, to say the least. I was always just a football player, but I found a passion for it. And when I found a passion for it, I took it very seriously. So I did everything that I needed to do in order to prepare it. To do my job the correct way and to do it efficiently, you know what I'm saying? To give these kids the best type of knowledge that they could possibly use anytime that they're in my grasp. That's just part of the job, and it's part of being successful at what you do. I don't think I'm the best coach around. I don't think I'm the best trainer around, but I guarantee, you know what I'm saying, if you come across me and you get put in my path, you'll know for sure that I know what I'm talking about. And I'll probably give you a couple tools to take with you whenever you move on to go play for somebody else. Definitely give you a little bit of information to take with you in that aspect.
I think that's all you can do as a coach. I think that's what I try to impress on most of my boys and my girls. I'm real honest with them, and I mean, usually they take all of it in. Now, you always have your ones, even my two, like to press the line sometimes, but that's just being a kid and testing your boundaries and whatnot. But, I find that most of these kids want to work hard.
Yeah,
they just need somebody driving them to it. And it really, on, being prepared and being able to get prepared, we lack on so many levels.
We do.
And down here that, because it takes everyone. It takes your teachers, it takes your principals, it takes your It
The
takes your
coaches, it takes us all.
it takes your superintendents, your athletic directors. All of these people should be involved on every level of paying attention to these kids, making sure that they're making their grades, that they're being held accountable for what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
To add to what you say, man, to me personally, I don't. I feel like the school system has a lot more to offer than just educating them on grades, man. I think it's as educators and as principals and superintendents and coaches, hell, even parents, man. I think it's a part of our job to ensure that our children know how to do certain things and they can handle themselves whenever they leave. You know, whenever they leave the next age, they venture off to go to college and everything. Um, I feel like part of the preparation as parents, you know, we can only do so much because we only have so much time with our children. I say that because a lot of parents work. Even if you have a two-parent household, both parents work because you know the cost of living is ridiculous right now. I mean, hell, everybody was worried about Black Friday and wasn't nobody trying to buy nothing but some food. They weren't trying to put the food on sale.
I come to the line at Lowe's the other day. I heard you borrow $3.98. I was like, we have done lost our minds.
Man, almost $3 for a 20-ounce soda pop, man. Almost $3 for a 20-ounce bottle of water, man. Like, man, it's ridiculous out here. So a lot of parents and a lot of kids don't get to spend that time with the parents that they need. So I feel like with as much money that cycles through the school system, man, we need to implement some type of program to give these kids basic life skills. If you go to other parts of Oklahoma, man, up in the northern areas like Tulsa, Oklahoma City, you see these schools, they do this type of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I just saw where UConn just held a deal for every one of their grades in high school on scholarships and how being recruited works and all that. And they did it individually per grade. And I mean, I didn't even know that kind of thing existed until I saw them post that.
Well, that's somebody taking the initiative and implementing something that needs to be implemented into a system. That's all that is. With everybody who has, with as many people that around this area that we have that have as much pull as far as dealing with, you know, people in the city council or you know,
Oh, absolutely.
just dealing with some of the higher up people that run law. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should be willing to put together some type of program to help, you know, prepare these kids for whenever they do get out of school, man. Because like I said, there's a lot of kids that get out of school that don't know things. I think every kid, you know, me personally, I think every kid should, you know, memorize important numbers like their social security number or their driver's license number. Reason being is with such a high spike in, I'm not necessarily going to say police brutality, but it's the police are more on edge nowadays, so it's more likely to happen, you know, a mishap happen just by you reaching for your driver's license. You know what I'm saying? So even as an uncle, you know, I've always told my nephews, you know, make sure you memorize your driver's license number. That way, you know,
I know mine.
Yeah, I know mine too. You know what I'm saying? He's got a notepad in his top pocket. If you don't want to make no sudden moves, you know what I'm saying? Hey, take out that notepad in your pocket and write this number down, and then you can pull my license. You can run my license that way. You know what I'm saying? We got to prepare our children.
I had a good coach. One of the best pieces of advice a good coach told me one time in high school was whenever you get pulled over, stick your hands out the window. And every time I've ever been pulled over, especially at night, I'll just lay my hands out the window. And, you know, most of the time they ask me why, and I said, I tell them the story. A coach told me to do this. It makes you feel safe so you know that I'm not trying to do anything. And then there's, you know, I tell all my boys that story just because it saved me. I can't tell you how many times it's probably saved me from a ticket just because they're like, oh, I thought maybe your dad was a police officer or you know somebody, and it's like, no, coach taught me that.
No, man, Mike, it's been many times that I've been pulled over, and the first thing I do, because I have 10 on my windows, the first thing I do is let all 4 of my windows down. You know what I'm saying? Especially at nighttime, I let all 4 of my windows down, and I keep my hands on the steering. I even cut my dome light on, and keep my hands on the steering wheel. Hey, man, you can't say I'm reaching for nothing, man. I'm not touching nothing. I'm not moving. I'm not going to reach in my pocket and give you my license. Here, you can take out that notepad and write down this number, and you can run my license that way.
Absolutely.
But it's sad that we got to say that in today's, you know, day and age, but it's a harsh reality. You know, we say things happen.
We live in a harsh reality. I mean, we got people getting shot in the street over nothing, like people just walking up, shooting up shopping malls and everything else. And you know, and they are dealing with that as well. So I always, you know, it's just like everything else in this world. You know, I've had good coaches and I've had bad coaches. I've dealt with bad police officers and good police officers.
Me too.
But
Me too.
I know that if I make them feel safe, 9 times out of 10, they're pretty nice to me.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
I know that it helps. I mean, you are a little different, and that helps a little bit for sure. But even with that, I've found that I've found my ways out of things with guys that as long as you don't do anything stupid, yes sir, no sir, put your hands on the steering wheel and move on with your life.
Well, I mean, I know, you know what I'm saying? I know the stigma out there, you know what I'm saying? To me being an African American male myself, you know, I've had my fair share of run-ins with, you know, police officers that were, you know, wicked in their ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for the most part, man, any officer that I've come across, as long as I complied with him and I gave him what he asked for, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do anything or say anything outrageous, man. They pretty much let me go with a written warning. Sometimes I didn't even get tickets.
Most of the time,
Half the time I didn't even get tickets, you know what I mean? So it really,
I got a good one.
I'm not going to say that it depends on how you conduct yourself, because like I said, some people could be having a bad day and they just decide to take that frustration out on you, period. You know, so it's different strokes for different folks. But with the whole preparation outlook that I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, bring to the show, it's imperative that we teach our children, you know what I'm saying, simple things like that, you know what I'm saying, how to interact with the police, or you know, something as simple as balancing a checkbook, or
how to pay a water bill, how to pay a light bill.
yeah, basic household maintenance and vehicle maintenance, you know what I'm saying, how to change your oil, how to change a tire, you know, change the brakes, you know, flush the radiator. Just basic stuff like that they should know how to do before they leave and go to college, because when they get in college or the military or whatever lane they decide to go down, they're gonna have to do these things themselves. You know what I'm saying? The most important thing that I think that they need to be teaching in the schools is the importance of credit score. A lot of us left school not knowing anything about
Had no idea.
Had absolutely no idea.
Didn't even know how it worked.
No.
Didn't even know how it worked.
No, and by the time you figured it out, it was too late. Your credit was already shot, so now you got to work twice as hard to get yourself out of this hole. I feel like they should be offering classes like this around here to teach these kids coming out of high school. You know,
It
the
should be
importance of credit
something.
score.
I think it's something that should be offered to these kids, even if it has to be after school or whatever. But it shouldn't be something that they're charged for.
Nah, absolutely not.
It's important that these kids know how to do these things for the future of the country. It's been detrimental that we didn't understand.
No, yeah, it has. You know what I mean?
Our entire generation, the way it's been played out, it's been rough. But I was like you said, I was 18. I joined the Navy. I was in Pensacola, Florida. Went in and financed a stereo for like 27% interest. Stupid. Paid that thing for like 4 years, and it was just ridiculous. Like a normal person that understood what they were doing right there wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
Maybe I'm abnormal, but
no, I mean that goes with adding seminars. You know what I'm saying? All types of seminars. You know what I'm saying? Like assemblies, man, helping these kids understand what it is that they're getting into once they get out here into the real world. We didn't, like I said, we didn't have anything like that, and you know, we found out the hard way. I know whenever I went to school, it was all types of loans and stuff that I pulled out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the difference between a subsidized loan and another subsidized loan.
Right.
They didn't really take the time to
they
explain
were like,
it to
"Here,
me.
you can have all this money.
Yeah,
You sign this paper,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah, sign this money and here you go. I mean, sign this paper and here you go. Here go all this money for you. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what I was getting myself into. Thank God I don't have any student loan debts anymore. You know what I'm saying? I paid them off. I think the last one that I owe was 2014. I paid that off almost 10 years ago. So I don't owe any more student loans. For those of y'all that want to know, I know you don't care, but I know, you know what I'm saying? You know how folks do around small towns, man. They talk. It is what it is. Just to clear the air, I don't owe any student loans. Thank you very much.
No student loans anymore.
And I didn't get the student loan forgiveness neither.
Well,
That's paid off.
Nowadays, like you said, you kind of got some of that preparation stuff with the what is it called? The Oklahoma is not Oklahoma Cares, but the Oklahoma Scholarship, Oklahoma Promise.
Mhm.
That's something that every kid should take advantage of. And here's my thing with that:
Yeah,
it's free.
it's free.
You can go fail.
Yeah,
As a freshman in college, if that's what you do, that's your prerogative. You had a shot.
It was
Yeah.
handed to you. It was free.
yeah,
Go take the shot.
yeah. Take the shot.
And I don't think we tell enough of our kids that.
No,
They
say,
qualify. We don't really express how that works to our parents very well, I don't think.
Well, and I think part of that is lack of due diligence from the administrative side. I mean, everybody has gotten to this whole it's posted online thing,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's so impersonal. You know what I'm saying? Posting everything online.
And
It's so
that's-
impersonal. You know what I'm saying? So you lose that connection with your students. You lose that connection with the parents. I think that to be honest with you, like I said, I think like seminars, man, or hell, even webinars, something, man, to get the parents engaged and get this information out to these kids. Now, you said something about the Oklahoma Promise. I think whenever I was in school, it was called OLAP. It was called like the Oklahoma Higher Learning Access
I
Program
don't
or
even
something
know
like
if it
that.
existed when I was in school. And if it did, I did not know about it.
Yeah,
But
see,
even the concurrent deal we have going on now, that is such a huge deal. What should happen is I believe that all your ninth graders should take the ACT because I think that's how they qualify for the concurrent classes.
yeah.
And then if it was like Alyssa started, I think, the second half of her 10th grade year. And if I would have taken her to take the ACT, this is one of those things I learned on her. In ninth grade, then she could have went and took concurrent classes starting her 10th grade year. But she graduated high school with 23 credit hours. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. If you're an athlete, it makes it to where you don't have to take as many classes to still graduate at the same time.
Yeah,
Or you can graduate early. You can go any which direction, but it gives you a playing card.
The thing about concurrent classes is athletes, I mean, not just athletes, but students got to know which classes are transferable and which ones are not, depending on what school they're trying to go to.
Absolutely.
I don't think enough people do enough. I don't think enough students or enough parents do enough research on that aspect as well. Whenever they do in the concurrent classes, I've ran into so many kids that told me that they took these classes in high school, and when they went off to college, none of the classes they took transferred over, so they had to start all the way back over at the bottom.
She was real strict about how she did that. She attacked that exactly what you're saying, and I'm pretty sure English Comp 1 and 2. I'd have to double check it. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure both of those, your algebra class and your history class, will all transfer. Just about anywhere, not everywhere. Like I don't think it'll transfer to Harvard, but it. But here's the thing, even if it's not, even if they don't transfer, it's free.
It's free.
And you don't have to go sit in that box inside the school. You can go to a college campus and you can start to learn and prepare yourself for going to college the next year. And you might find out real quick, this ain't what I want to do.
Yeah, this ain't what I want to do.
And then you get to sit back and you have to figure out what's next, and then we head into all those other directions. And there's so many out there. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of avenues out there. Unfortunately, I couldn't take too many of them. I tried to join the military. As a matter of fact, I took the ASVAB and scored an 8.9 on my ASVAB. And I was trying to join the military. I tried to go to the Navy at first because y'all might think I'm pointing to this, but ever since I watched Top Gun, I thought about being a naval aviator.
You'd be
That's what I
surprised
was
how many
thinking.
people got like Top Gun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's still one of my favorite movies to this day. You feel me?
For
But
sure.
yeah,
Shoot, the new one was good.
yeah, the new one was good, man. And I've always wanted to do something like that. So when I got out of school, I took college wasn't even a thought in my mind. Military was straight off the rip. You know what I mean? Yeah. I found out that I couldn't go because I had knee surgery twice before I graduated.
Oh man.
So, you know what I'm saying? I did everything that I needed to do. I studied for the ASVAB, I took the ASVAB 2 or 3 times, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure I got it.
My recruiter would have told you to lie.
Well, I even offered to sign on the waiver so I couldn't claim it on disability or anything like that. And they still told me no.
No, they won't take you.
They said, man, how many times you been under the knife? I said twice. And they was like, man, you haven't even left high school yet? I said, nope. They was like, man, we can't take you. He was like, man, I'll be surprised if any military branch take you. And surprisingly enough, even when I went to Florida, I tried to do the Coast Guards, and they were like, no. They were like, no.
And the reason being is because if you blow your knee out again, it's automatic.
Yeah, it's automatic.
So,
but it's crazy that they said that because even after that, I went on to play full contact football. For years. Like 11 years after that. Yeah. Getting hit in the knee and everything. Right. And not a single injury to my knee.
That's
not a single injury.
Well, and that's why, a good recruiter would have told you to lie. He'd have took you outside and said, hey, let's go eat dinner. And he would have said, just lie. If you really want to go and you really want to do it, just lie. But, you know, it could have been one of them deals. Like, probably might have saved your life. Like, we watched this video coming out of, you know, I was in the air crew. Same thing. I wanted, my uncle passed away here about 3 years ago. And he was a rescue swimmer. But he was like a superstar. They have a board in the rescue swimmer school down in Pensacola that has about, they pick a guy every couple of classes, and they have about 6 classes a year.
Yeah.
And his name's up on that board. He's jumping out of a helicopter. And then he enlisted, became a pilot, flew helicopters.
Yeah.
And he did the thing. And so when I joined, that's what I wanted to do. And I went to rescue swimmer school, and I did that stuff. And it was wild. It was a lot of fun, but at the same time, a lot of injuries. I got hurt. I split my sinus cavity open, had these big old filled up with blood, all kinds of bad things. And but shoot, we saw this video where people were dying on the aircraft carriers, just daily things happening.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean,
so football was way more fun. That's all I'm telling you, than being on a boat.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, yeah, definitely, man. Football was definitely more fun in that aspect, man. I did a lot of traveling. I played alongside some of you know, college football's top athletes. I played against them. I played you know, on the same team as them. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of life experiences, man, traveling the world and playing ball in many different states and in many different areas of the United States, man. So that's one blessing that, you know, I'm grateful to say that I have, that a lot of people that went D1 didn't experience. You know what I'm saying? I experienced some stuff that they didn't even experience. You know what I mean? I experienced things that a lot of people that played at prestigious universities had no chance of experiencing. So that's part of the reason why I started this whole podcast as well, man, to show people, man, it's more than one way to skin a cat. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean? You can make it anywhere you want to make it to, man, as long as you apply yourself and you prepare yourself the way that you need to prepare yourself in order to make it. And that's going to be my voice for a lot of these athletes around here. That is my voice for a lot of these athletes around here, because a lot of folks come from backgrounds, you know, single parent homes, and they feel like the odds are stacked against them. And even though the odds are stacked against you, you have more fuel to drive you or motivate you to do better.
It don't mean lay down and quit.
Yeah, don't be a statistic.
Both my boys got tested at the pre-turkey tournament. Damien got his rib, he got stretched up into a cradle, and Evan been sick. And probably got the match stolen, but hey, that's the break, you gotta beat it. And I told Damien, I got to have a conversation with. I always talk about my grandfather. 2 tours in Vietnam, a tour in Korea, lost his leg. When he lost his leg, got hit by an artillery shell, crawled with his leg in his arm about 30 yards into a hole, and survived, lost his leg. But so I always look at the boys, and I have to really question now. Like, the question really becomes, how far are you willing to go? Now, I'm not saying get out there with a broken rib and go wrestle, but here's my problem is I tell this story. Now, Evan and I taught this at a young age. Damien I've had for a short period of time.
Yeah.
He next day he's out in the yard rolling around. He let this kid beat him that never, not in a million years, should beat him. I don't care if he's hurt or not. And the next day you're rolling in the yard with Evan wrestling. So you weren't really hurt that bad.
Nah.
So what it becomes, you know, you have to learn that over time.
Could have been pride, could have been ego.
And he, it just, well, no, he, in the moment, coach, he was, now he's never felt it before. So it's strange. I'm sure it pulled that muscle a little bit, because he got cradled up real nice. But, now he'll be prepared for the next one, because we had the conversation 2 days later. I said, look, now I watched you come out the next day. I said, there's a different, you know, went through the whole pain and injury, the difference.
Yeah.
And sounds to me like you were in a little bit of pain. And you have to prepare yourself for that, because there's going to be pain in this world. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire playing football for whoever, or you're an electrician that installs new electric panels for the electric company. There's dangers and pain and suffering and all of those. and you have to prepare yourself for that as well.
Yeah, you do.
So, but sports has always kind of been my bag.
I was never as good an athlete as you are.
And
I was
but
mediocre.
football taught me how to be resilient to adversity. It
Yeah.
prepared me for that side of it. But to be prepared for life, there's so much work that goes into it. And like you said, I think it takes a lot more than just our parents and our coaches. It takes our administration, it takes our teachers, and it takes it. And here's the thing. When you have a kid that's trying hard and doing well in athletics, like I tend to see this like hate begin in line that I don't understand it. I like, and here's my thing. I support all of it. Doesn't matter what school you go to. If you're a kid playing ball or wrestling or playing, anything.
Yeah.
If you're fencing, if you're in the EA Sports deal, I'm supporting you. I got your back. I'm rooting for you. I want you to do good. I have a hard time bouncing back and forth. Like my buddies that graduated from me can't believe that I walk around Lawton High with an L on. And I just laugh at them because at the end of the day, I support all three of them, and I don't care. I need all of you to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to do more of that as a community, though.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be supporting all of these athletes and all of these kids as a whole. Like, I think we tend to jump to conclusions with these kids. We jump on their backs real fast when the conversation goes a long way. I know some of them are disrespectful and need to be smacked upside the head sometimes, but it really, even them, they're easy to get through to, but it takes a minute sometimes. But
it's a trust issue. It's a trust issue.
It has nothing to do with the person standing in front of them. It has to do with the life that they've been dealt and what they're dealing with in the moment.
What they're dealing with in the moment. Yeah.
Children, they don't understand. I was goofy. I don't even think I understood which way I was going when I was riding my bike, but
I was a goofy kid too, you know what I'm saying? Always joking, always laughing, always clowning. I was a goofy kid too.
Right. But you got to support them.
Yeah, you do. And like I said, I think as, parents, educators, and coaches, man, we got to do a better job, within our own community in order to build these children up the way that they need to be built up and get them out of here, man. Because to be real with you, being here, there's nothing here for them. If you're not trying to help your child get out of here, if you're not trying to help some type of student or an athlete or anybody get out of here and do something better for themselves, then you're part of the problem. I can honestly say that you're part of the problem.
Absolutely. Well, I've raised mine just on that note. I've raised mine I tell Alyssa all the time, she's gone, and when the other ones leave, I'll say the same thing. You go, you do your life, and if you do great things and then you decide to come back and do something, then you can come back.
Yeah.
But until you've made something of yourself and you've gone out there and experienced life, don't come back here because you won't experience it.
Yeah, you won't experience anything, and it's sad to say, man, considering that I grew up here. Like I said, I graduated school here and I played a lot of sports here in this area, but they really don't have anything to offer the youth or, the young adults around here, man. But, jail time, you got 1,001 dispensaries. I see more dispensaries than I see churches. I see more dispensaries than I see counseling offices. I see more dispensaries than I see staffing offices, hiring offices. You gotta, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what are we programming our children to do? Not only that, man, and to be real with you, man, a lot of people have access to these dispensaries that don't need access to these dispensaries. And there's a lot of these high school kids walking around here with stuff with stuff that they shouldn't have simply because it's easy access to it. They know somebody's gonna get it for them, or they know how to get their hands on it. Granted, everybody has their opinion about, smoking weed and weed and dispensaries and stuff. Me personally, I don't too much care about it. It's not a man-made drug. It's something that you grow. So me personally, I don't too much care about it. But, like I said, different strokes for different folks. Do I believe that children in high school, do I believe that young athletes should be partaking in this? No, because you develop a bad habit. So you do get offered a nice scholarship to go
This is
somewhere.
always a great one for me to touch on, Coach. I love talking about this because I grew for several years and I was part of the business. And My son has been around it. My daughter has grown up around it, and I've had conversations with them since they were young.
Yeah.
That and my biggest deal, and it's always funny how kids take to this. Their brain is not done developing.
No, it's not.
Period. So if you go out and smoke this, I'm not saying it's going to kill you. You're not going to OD and die.
Yeah.
But might not be as smart as you would have been.
Yeah.
Saying.
Just saying.
You
might
might
not be able to handle emotional situations like you would have
because it's done something. It's just not good for them.
No, it's not.
And Evan always, you gonna let me smoke with you when I'm 18? No. You going to play ball? I thought you last week you was telling me you going to play ball or you gonna wrestle in college? You out?
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd. And I think it kind of scares parents to attack it that way. But I've had very, very good. My track record isn't unblemished. It's not like I didn't have normal teenager issues with boys, girls, all that kind of stuff. But I found that when it comes to the hard stuff, like my kids know what fentanyl will do to them. My kids know what going down the road doing cocaine will do to them.
But again, that's all part of preparation.
Absolutely.
Same thing that we talking about, preparation.
Absolutely.
Having a conversation with them, explaining the differences to them, letting them know, hey, this can do this to you, this can do that to you. You know what I'm saying? Preparation, man. But giving them the information that they need, pretty much.
So
my boys are up in Nakoma Park.
We're going to Choctaw Middle School now, for everybody that doesn't know. And it's just night and day, Coach. I can't tell you how it's not. It's just
you don't have to tell me. I've been outside Oklahoma. I've seen how I've been outside of Lawton. I've been outside of Oklahoma. Period. I've seen how different schools in different areas run things. I've seen how different.
I'm just mind blown.
Yeah,
because I didn't expect it to be so different.
Yeah,
and this has been very difficult for me because they can try to get rid of me all they want, but I'm not going anywhere. I've set roots down. I'm moving right over into zone 1. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. And but my boys will never come back. They just won't, and it's heartbreaking. And even when everything is cleared up and everything's over, they're Choctaw for life now. And the reason isn't because of how good the football team is, or how good the wrestling team is, or how good the basketball team is, or any of that. It's how they all interact with each other, how the teachers treat them, how the administrators treat them. I mean, my kids have met the superintendent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you said that because one of the guys that I was supposed to be talking to tonight that was supposed to join me on the show, he got back to me late. Is actually like the president of the Touchdown Club up there. He's president of a lot of Choctaw organizations up there. So he runs a lot of organizations up there. So he was supposed to be on the show tonight, but like I said, he got back in contact with me a little too late. By then the show had already, it was about to start. You know what I'm saying? It was after you came.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, bro, you a little too late, bro. I'm not finna sit around here and play with you. But I'm gonna get him on the show, man, so he can, elaborate and explain, the way that they do things up there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've been around and I've seen many different things. They do things completely different than what we do around here. And you come to realize that when you go to different cities and bigger cities, that those children there, those cities are better prepared for life than we are down here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a very strange thing. If you're being born and raised from Lawton, Oklahoma, if you grew up here and you know any of the past, I mean, we have national championships from Cameron. We have national championships at Eisenhower. We have national championships over at Lawton High. It like sports and the camaraderie. It wasn't just about the athletes, and that's not what I want to make it about. It's not because when I walked through those hallways as a substitute and I was in those classes, I am not just Coach Rutledge to my wrestlers. I'm Coach Rutledge to every kid. I say hello, how you doing, good morning. Like I want y'all to have a good day. Like let's go attack this day.
Speak to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many teachers just don't. And I find it that I don't understand why we can't as a community. That's the thing in Choctaw that I saw. It's like the beginning of the year when they started football practice. The first day they were allowed to have football practice.
Yeah.
They did it out on the high school field and they posted it all over Facebook. But it was every kid from the little bitty 4 and 5-year-olds that, you know, are out there playing flag to the high schoolers, all on the same football field. The entire stadium was full.
Yeah.
Which of course it is, because you have every parent from every grade. If you did that just for each group, you could do each high school, you'd still fill a camera.
Yeah.
And build that camaraderie and that team. Because I remember getting the 1990, all of the 1990 football teams, MacArthur, Eisenhower, and Lawton High. I have every one of their autographs in a book somewhere that they were all out of Goodyear. You know, just football players.
Yeah.
You know, and that was cool as a little boy. I was 10 years old. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever done.
Man, as good of a job as it is, it takes you away from your family for a long time.
Yeah.
Think about it. I did it for a little while. My older brother, he did it for a little while. And the time that I was out there, man, you got to think about it, man. You're out there 12 hours, you come home. By the time you get home, you know, your significant other's probably going to work or they're asleep. You know what I'm saying? It's actually, you miss a lot of your kids' functions and all to provide for them, but, you know, you didn't.
Oh, it's,
I mean, you didn't miss
I
much.
was raised by Goodyear. My daddy still works at Goodyear, and you know, and I love Goodyear because of the things they've afforded in my life. And but my dad has worked hard, and when he got the job, it was back. I was probably in 5th grade, and I was scared. I immediately started crying when he got the job. I'll never forget it. And he was so excited, you know. And I looked back, and I was like, man, what a punk! Started crying, and because I knew that my friends' dads that work nights, if you didn't go over to their house when their dads work nights, because you wake him up, that's waking up the bear, you know. And it's Goodyear's hard on you. I mean, you work legitimately hard when you go to work out there. So it's one of those deals. But they always, you know, they had the big party. It was at like the Easter party or something when they did that.
But my thing is, we need to be trying to offer our children something better than that and using that as a.
Well, Goodyear, for me, like Goodyear, I would be teaching my kids about Goodyear is you want to come back here with an engineering degree.
Yeah.
You want to be in those offices.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, I've sorted tires down in Green Tire.
Yeah.
And it ain't no fun.
No, it's not.
You learn
Absolutely
real
not.
quick whether or not you won't be that guy.
Hey, absolutely not. And to be honest with you, man, that's how I've been able to stay in shape for so long.
Right.
Because I was out there throwing tires for so long. I've been able to stay in shape for so long, but in the long run, man, it wears your body out.
Absolutely.
I think this last cycle that I spent out there, man, like I said, I ended up catching staph twice.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I've been to many, many different jobs, and I've done many dirty jobs. You know, I even worked at the landfill once upon a time. Never caught staph infection. We're not going to cause staph infection twice. I understand it's not the company, you know what I'm saying? It's just the people that you're around, you know what I'm saying? It's the people that you're around.
Oh, absolutely.
And even though the people that I worked with on my crew were clean, the people that were before them, not so much. You know what I'm saying? So you coming in and you
Hey, it
touching
only
things.
takes one, too. That's what's so bad. It only takes one.
Yeah, it only takes one.
It can affect everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you coming in to relieve, you know what I'm saying, the crew off of their shift, and you know, he ain't washed his hands all day, and you go to touch the computer screen or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Then you mess around and get
Touch the line somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. So my body just couldn't take it, man. So I had to get up out of there. But luckily for me, man, I learned to trade at an early age, man. Like I said, I got a CDL, so I'm able to, you know, pretty much find a job anywhere I want.
Especially now, yeah. I hear they need them CDL drivers.
Yeah, not only that, you know what I'm saying? I did a little bit of hot shot too, man. I know that there's good money in hot shot driving too, man. I used to go and pick up RV trailers, man, and bring those back, man. And you know, that's like $1,600 a trailer.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, options, man. But
all kinds of things out there to do.
yeah, but in order to have options, you gotta be prepared.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta have that CDL. You gotta find a route. And then that's the flip side to this. I always talk to the boys about it. You know, they're always on their phones. Always on their phones. Every kid out there is always on their phones. And it's like the most powerful tool anybody could ever imagine carrying around with them when they were a kid. All you have is time.
Yep.
And if you use just a small amount of it wisely,
Yep.
you can learn so much. Whatever it is. whatever.
You got the world at your fingertips.
That's it.
Don't even utilize it.
That's
Too
it.
busy on YouTube or on Snapchat or on TikTok making up stupid dances.
Stupid dances.
Stupid dances. Dances don't even be dope, man. They just be dumb. Dumb, and everybody following the trend. I feel like some of those little memes that I see where people do a little green screen and they just sit there watching everybody do dance moves.
Right.
Like, I feel like that myself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Everybody trying to follow. Everybody being a follower. Ain't nobody a trendsetter no more. Nobody's a
Everybody
trendsetter.
is looking to go viral. You know, on that
I'm
end
not.
of it. They just want everybody to see them, and it's so funny because there's these moments with them. I watch them like some of their videos. They'll get 1,000 views, or I think one of Evans and Peyton's jumped up at one point to like 20-something thousand views or something. And it's funny. It's like kids on Christmas morning getting a present. Like,
well, you can.
it's
I
a
don't know how it
weird.
works.
It's a weird, like, because it doesn't really do anything for you.
Well, from my understanding, they can. You know what I'm saying? Get so many views, get so many likes. You know what I'm saying? If you monetize it or something like that, or you make it a business page, they'll
Absolutely.
pay you a
And now,
certain
if you're
amount.
posting videos all the time, and you
Yeah.
create a business, and you
Stay systematic. Anybody that's done very well at it has done it worked extremely hard.
Yeah.
It's not like these guys have come out and just all of a sudden are YouTube stars. They've worked extremely hard to get them. So that's a little different. These kids are looking for like, they're not even looking to be really. They just want to be TikTok famous for a second. And they're excited about it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that. How we were when we were like couldn't sleep, or it's something exciting is going to happen tomorrow. And you want to wake up like that's their excitement now, and it's a very strange occurrence for the ones that do which all of them do. I watch every one of them make videos. Every single one of them, just about.
I mean, I make videos too, but mine are more like training videos.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yours
So-
are out there doing work.
I feel you.
Yeah. I mean,
And there's
mine-
so many better things they could be doing to prepare. Now, like I said, if that's the route you chose and you're doing it as a business, then I expect to see you post a new video every day or 4 videos a day or whatever it is, and you be working towards it. But everybody else is just playing and wasting time. You're wasting time.
Yeah, you're wasting time. But again, that's part of, I guess you could say, society standard. I mean,
It's
when I think about the age nowadays that kids walk around, like both my daughters, they got cell phones. One of them's 11, one of them is 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school before I got my first cell phone. The damn show wasn't unlimited. Couldn't call me till after 7 o'clock.
right.
But I had a West Coast number. So technically, you couldn't call me till after 11 o'clock. For my minutes to be free. Hey, don't call me. Hey, you call me anytime before that. Hey, man, I'm about to call you back. You gonna be up later? It's gonna be. It's gonna be late, but I'm gonna call you back.
That's so funny.
But you know what I'm saying? I guess ultimately, as parents, that's what we want for our children, man. For them to have the things that we didn't have. And in a sense with that, you know what I'm saying? I think that we should want them to have the knowledge that we didn't have as well either. Just basic everyday knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The difference. Not everyday knowledge. Things that you won't learn about until you become an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like health insurance,
Right.
life insurance. Banking, you know what I'm saying, different types of banking accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts, TVs,
How loans work, how all of that, how to buy a home,
yeah,
how to
absolutely.
buy a car, why these contracts look so big, and what's involved in this, and
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
what am I looking for? Like at this point in the era of the American man and woman, we should be knowledgeable enough to be able to teach these things.
yeah.
It shouldn't be some huge scandal to go buy a car. It should be pretty simplistic, and it should be in black and white, and you should be able to understand it because you've been taught it.
I mean, but you got to think about it like this, man. If there's no in the world we live in nowadays, man, if there's no correction, there's no profit. And it's pretty much, and that's pretty much in everything that you deal with. That's that. Business to sports. That's pretty much everything you deal
The
with.
reality is, I agree with you.
Yeah, if there's no correction, there's no
problem with
profit.
capitalism
Is it only works if the rich aren't greedy, and when the richest men in the world are greedy,
Greedy, it doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
No.
there were some really bad men that were really rich back in the day. That didn't do like they did really mean things that weren't politically correct or whatever. But if you go read your history books, a lot of them died penniless because they built libraries and schools and hospitals and all in America, all these things. And I don't remember the last time I drove by a new school that was built and said, you know, Bill Gates Elementary School.
Nah.
And there's a reason we don't name them that. It's because they don't help build them.
No, well, yeah, that's true. Well, I think I heard about I think he just opened up a school or something like that.
There's
I think
LeBron opened his school, and
so you have the which I'm not knocking those guys at all. And I'm really not talking about those specific. There's several individuals that have gone out there and really tried hard.
Yeah,
Because I know it's not easy to start a school.
No.
But we're not. That's a whole different kind of wealth. LeBron, even though LeBron has been the man for as long as he's been the man and made as much money as he has, we're still not talking about Jeff Bezos' money.
No.
You know, and all of the other ones hidden behind it. You know, all the other companies that are out there that you don't really see their names, but you know, where's the Kraft family? You know, where are they at building? Not Robert Kraft in New England, Kraft Foods. You know, all of those things. Like when you really get to looking at all of that, it's such a huge deal how things have changed, and it goes back to that $4 candy bar and. You not being, you know, two parents have to work just to survive, and they still are barely getting by.
Yeah.
And if your kids aren't prepared for this battle that they're about to go through, because if you think it's getting easier, you haven't been around for very long.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. Even as an adult nowadays, I mean, they're charging you because you don't want health care for yourself. You don't want to have to pay another bill. So
That's it.
Pretty much at the end of the year, you're gonna get penalized for not caring about your health. You know what I'm saying? When you file your taxes, they're gonna take some of your money because you didn't care enough about your health to get health insurance. But you don't care enough about my health when I go to the hospital anyway. So you want me to pay for some insurance just in case I get sick. But if I don't get sick, I'm still paying for some insurance that I'm not using just for me to go to the
And
hospital.
you're still going to get a bill even though you paid insurance.
Yeah, just for me to go to the hospital for the insurance company.
I've seen some very horrible things about that here lately. We go on a whole nother rant about that. But from what I understand, if you go in and you ask for your to get your prescription filled, as long as you if they don't know you and you tell them you don't have insurance, it's like ridiculously cheaper. But the second that you say you have insurance, there's like a gag clause that stops them from being able to talk to you about what that price was. And immediately, I can't remember what drug it was, but it was like it would have cost her $8, but it immediately made it like $189. And it's just that's all.
But hey, it's what you say. I mean, you know, the rich get richer. You know what I'm saying? The poor live a better life than the middle class. You know what I'm saying? The people that live in poverty live a better life than the middle class.
Well, they've broken the system. That whole deal has been. So being a Comanche Indian, and I've always said this, if you sit back and look at it, it's just like history repeats itself over and over again, and you really look at it. It's a very trepidatious way we have carried ourselves forward because they've done it systematically. The same thing they did to the Indians when they took the kids and they put them in schools, and they were taking their heritage away, and they knew if they broke our bond as a family, that's how they could try to, that was their answer to breaking us.
Yeah.
And they've done it with every different race that they could, all the way through to why are we where we're at in the Black community and having the issues that we're having. It's because you systematically came and broke it. Same thing they did. They just did it in a modern era in a different way than they did with taking blankets and handing them off.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that is, you know, even though we're experiencing it now, our children are going to experience it worse in the future.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. If we don't fix it and it doesn't change and you don't help these kids see a brighter future and work for something good and positive, I mean, as a kid, if you're not pointed in a positive direction, it's real easy to go that negative way.
Well, that's why, you know what I'm saying, this that's why preparation is, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say preparation is key. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us to teach our children about these issues that me and you are sitting here discussing right now. It's important. It's up to us to teach these kids about this type of stuff, man. And if the school system isn't going to teach it, then we need to come together as adults and something and sit down and come up with some type of seminar to, you know what I'm saying, preach different aspects to these children and give them a better head start in life than what we had growing up. Because like I said, if
and speaking on that, there are a few, and once they get up to high school, I know the gentleman of Lawton High, I know Coach Elber, shout out to him, and the gentleman of Lawton High do a little bit of that. I'm not quite sure, but if Eisenhower or MacArthur have anything, that's just me not knowing, but I know there are other people out there that are trying, but that goes back to everybody supporting and helping.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got to get actively involved in it, man. Everybody's got to be willing to pull their weight and help out in any way that they can. I think getting back to me, man, well, not necessarily getting back to me. I think getting back to some of the things that we need to be teaching these kids about, man. Like I said, just basic, you know, everyday things, man. I mean, don't worry about that. That's some folks next door. It's just basic everyday life situations and everyday life information. Like I said, man, I think health insurance is something that they need to discuss, that we need to discuss with our children. So a lot of kids that are going to be graduating, joining the workforce, they need another difference between the HMO and the PPO. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that they're not going to be, you know, that even if they go to orientation, it's only going to be a limited presentation on it.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to sit there and be like, I have no idea what they're talking about or what they just said.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, understanding the importance of, you know, having a 401k if you do decide to enter the workforce at an early age. I think it's just many things that we can do collectively as a group, you know what I'm saying, to help better prepare these children so where they don't end up right back here in Lawton, man. Because, like I said, man, I've seen so many guys that were talented, smart, athletic, you know what I'm saying, could pretty much do anything that they set their mind to, but because they weren't prepared for life whenever they left high school, they ended up right back here in a worse situation, in an even worse situation that I can't even talk right now, in an even worse situation than they were before they left, you know what I'm saying? But we're trying to avoid that nowadays, man, especially with inflation and things being tough nowadays, man. We want our kids to have the best advantage possible.
Well, here's the other side of that, flip to that coin, and like talking about them, like if they are staying here, don't you want them to be great human beings?
Yeah,
don't you want them to be prepared for life and knowing how to mow their yard and take care of their house and take care of their vehicles instead of having to go buy a new junker every 2 or 3 weeks because they can't fix the alternator? Like, that comes back to the whole community being involved, and then it becomes a positive place, and then this conversation is completely different at that point.
It is completely different, and like I said, going back to, you know, say in continuance, we're talking about preparation, man. Addressing some of the student athletes, man, and you know, some of the athletic directors around here, man. We got to do a better job hosting showcases here ourselves for the athletes that we have here. There's no reason why we have all these brand new facilities and all this good turf around here, and nobody is willing to host a talent showcase here for the athletes here in your local area. They got to travel outside of Lawton to showcase their talents in other camps. When in reality, these outside sources don't really care about these kids in our area. We care about the kids in our area, so we need to do something for the kids in our area. We need to help these kids in our area become more successful like the ones in northern parts of Oklahoma.
We have to start doing things like that. You have to help these kids be the best possible, give them the best possible chance they can get.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it, because everybody knows when you leave here, as soon as you say you're from Lawton, it changes the whole game.
Yeah, it changes the whole game. I also feel like we need to have more motivational speakers in the area. I feel like more people need to get out and speak to the youth and speak to the athletes and let them know, you know what I'm saying, their stories, you know, stories of triumph and perseverance, you know, and overcoming adversity. It's a lot of success stories out here from people that are from right here in this area that have gone off and done, you know, magnificent things in their lives and have come back to the area.
Absolutely.
I feel like we need to be reaching out to more of those people and have more of those people be come and interact with some of the youth and some of the athletes that we have around here. We only got a couple more seconds left here on the podcast, man. So with that being said, I want to thank my man Ryan Rutledge for coming through and talking with me, man, chopping it up on this preparation segment. Hopefully you guys got some good info out there, man. Hopefully we didn't bore y'all too much tonight. I want to thank all my listeners and everybody that's been rocking with me this whole time, man. I'm gonna be getting better at it sooner or later. The minute I find the time to devote to it. Right now, I'm just kind of winging it. Again, shout out to my man Ryan Rutledge, man, for always coming through and holding your boy down. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. This is the Be the Change podcast, man, and y'all lock in with me next week. Week 5, man, we're gonna be talking about coaches versus coaching, man. It's a big difference, man. And I know a lot of y'all need to hear this. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight, man, and y'all have a good one.